There are many ways to get a perfect seam allowance on the Bernina 480 sewing machine. I'm going to show you that your throat plate has lots of increments. There is inches on the front, there's metric on the back, lots of lines to follow, and you can purchase an optional seam guide. Let me show you about the seam guide on the Bernina feet. So if you've noticed, there is a screw on the back with a hole. When this loosens up, this is the perfect place to slide the seam guide in and then set it for the distance you want to follow. You will notice though that you do need to make sure that this gets nice and tight and doesn't loosen up, but allows you to stitch one row right after the other. Sometimes I'll even use my needle position to move it to the left or to the right, depending on if I want to do one line and then maybe just another one really close to it, by using some of the guides, the edge of the presser foot, the seam guide, the lines on the throat plate. All are handy, but if you ever see a screw running around your accessory box about this size, that means one of them has come loose off the back of a foot. Very common question we get asked. Make sure that if you are finding any extra screws, just locate which foot is missing its seam guide holder on the back. When you begin to sew, you'll notice that you can put the fabric right up to the seam guide and have a perfectly parallel seam. This could help for, well, anybody. Even I need some help when I go to stitch my seams extra straight. But sometimes when you have a youngster sewing, this can be a great recommendation or guide. And if you want to do multiple rows right next to each other, sometimes people call it cross-hatching if you go one way and then come back the other way. But look how parallel. All you need to do is just have one line drawn or follow the edge of the foot for the first one, and those lines are going to be perfect every time you sew.